January to March has been a whole journey within itself. I had big expectations for myself at the start of the year with everything I've learned on the previous one, and I think that was my first mistake having those expectations. Now I just found myself with a different market, which caused my win rate to drop and caused my psychology to drop and go through the roof as well. Now, I will not be touching on psychology this video, but I can make a whole different video about it. I've learned many things that I would like to share. But in this video, I'm going to touch more on how I had to adjust my strategy using support and resistance. Okay, now we're in the charts and I'm going to explain to you exactly how this entry has given me better results and the logic behind it. As you can see, I have around 6 pairs right here that I'm going to use as an example. So first it's going to be NCDJPY. Of course, we're going to mark our support and resistance area. As you can see right here, very clearly, I have one right here and I have another one over here. If you have any difficulties marking your zones, you can always go to the left and see where price has stopped many times. Of course, we see it here clearly, and we can also see here, and also these weeks stopped here, so price couldn't break in or maintain at this level. So that's a good indication that you can start marking it from here as a resistance. And as you can see, we find on our way to the right other support and resistance. So we can say that this is a valid support and resistance area. Now on this one, well, let me give you guys another example. As you can see, price has stopped here many times. Let's see, this one maybe is not as clear, but here resistance, support, resistance, you can see it here too. Maybe that one's not as clear. Maybe if we go to the daily, probably we will see it more. But here on the weekly, as you can see, basically it's going to the left, because if you look at it like this looks choppy, not really, maybe you're not really sure. But if you go to the left, look how these two price actions stop at the same level. That's a key point. And then we just take it from here, as I told you guys, and boom, you find another resistance, support, and then you already know this is a valid support and resistance zone. Okay, so NCDJPY again, we are bearish. Last previous structure point, we are at that moment at that same level of in price, and if we see here, we are bearish. Last previous structure point right here, and our support and resistance zones very clear. Now we just want to wait for price to get to our zone. Wait, that happened fast. Okay, as price gets to my zone, I want to be checking and switching between the 4 hour, the 1 hour, maybe the 2 hour, just to find a shift of structure at this point. And as you can see, even on the 4 hour, let's see how it's going. Okay, we're bullish. Now we switch bearish. Let's keep it going, and then okay, so we have another rejection of the last previous structure point that we just created, and it looks like we are creating new lower lows. Yes, as you can see, so a new last previous structure point. And let's switch to the 1 hour, and as you can see, we also switch bearish. Last previous structure point, we came to reject it, and as you can see, we created a support and resistance zone inside this price range that we want to be trading in. Basically, we have another zone on our lower time frames, and this has been the key for me. If you can find a zone between the price range that you want to be trading at, as of course, as you can see here, we want to be selling, and here we want to be selling. So if we just shift structure, and we basically created another support and resistance zone on the lower time frames, then we just have to wait for price to be under, because we want to sell. So we're not going to be using it as support, but for resistance, because that we want to sell. So let's hit this, and as you can see, let's see what time this was. This was a Wednesday, March 19th at 2 a.m. This probably this pre-London, or London. Actually, this is London. Actually, pre-London, we have this big candle to the downside. I was waiting for a retracement to then go sell. I'm pretty sure I entered before because I wanted to go to sleep, and I thought maybe this week was rejecting this EMA and we were gonna be going straight down from that point. But as you can see, even New York session open and we were rejecting this support and resistance area a bit more, and then it was just a matter of time for price to bounce off that area as resistance and start going to the downside. Why did I have my take profit there? Well, very clearly because that's where this movement started. So I just want this, my take profit just makes sense to be on the support and resistance area because we are expecting price to bounce off this area. It could have bounced um, more to the downside, but as you can see on this occasion, it bounced up. So that was a good trade for me. I don't want to be greedy and put my take profit thinking that my price is going to break around a lot of support and resistance area because these are zones that the market respects. That's basically the entry. The entry is having a major support and resistance zone and then a minor support and resistance zone. Let's give you guys another example. It's gonna be CAD CHF. We are bearish. Let's see what day is this. This is Thursday. So let's wait for a few candles. Okay, this is Monday. Let's wait a bit more, but as you can see, support and resistance area on the daily very clear, on the weekly as well. Last previous structure point right here, and if we go to the 4 hour, we are creating a structure. So same again, I'm gonna be waiting for price to get to my zone, and as soon as it gets closer, I'm gonna be switching from the 4 hour to the 1 hour. As you can see, we have a shift of structure on the 1 hour, so I'm gonna stay on the 1 hour. Okay, it looks like we are rejecting this point. Then we created another lower low, last previous structure point right here. But I just wanna wait for price to break through this support and resistance area as we did here. This could have been an entry already, but with this new market, I just want like double, triple confirmations, as many confirmations as I can. And I think being under this area is a major confirmation just because I don't want to enter on any shift of structure. Even though we have a shift of structure, rejection of the last previous structure point, this could have been a good entry as well. But as I said before, why is this a support and resistance zone? As you can see, support resistance, and this week stopped here. There's not much price around it, but as always, go to the left, and if you see, let's do this so it's easier. This price also had a lot of used as resistance many times, as you can see here. So this is a valid support and resistance area for me. Maybe if you go to the 4 hour, we can see some rejection as well. So I thought this was a good support and resistance zone. And also, as you can see, this is 12 a.m. So that's pre-London for me. And I just always want to get in a trade either on pre-London, London, or pre-New York, maybe at the beginning of New York max, because I just want the volume to push my price as it did here. So as soon as I enter this position, I see that we use the same price range, price level, support and resistance zones many times as well. But as you can see, rejection, resistance, and then it was a matter of time for price to give up and start going to the downside. And as you can see, sooner or later we are gonna go to take profit. As you can see, there's also kind of a support and resistance area from here too. You see it here. but we just wait for price to get to our take profit, and we are happy about it. I know he might, yeah, he went to take profit again there in case I would have missed this, but I closed this by hand. I think I had my take profit here. It would have hit my take profit anyways, but I decided to not risk it more. My take profit around this area as support and resistance too. This was another support and resistance too, so it makes sense for me to close my trade at that moment. Okay, now your GBP. Let's keep giving examples. Very quick. This one we were on a counter trend trade for the daily, but as you can see on the weekly, it made sense for me because, well, let me do this. And this was on a Thursday. Let's give one more candle. Okay, that was how the market closed March 21st. And if we go to the weekly, we are bullish, but if we want to keep going bullish, I'm waiting for the price to reject this last previous structure point so we can have this impulse pull back to then another impulse. And that's basically what happened. If we go to the 4 hour, as you can see, I can identify this main support and resistance zone because we didn't have a main one on the daily because we are bullish. And okay, 4 hour, a main support and resistance zone. This we were under this zone, so I'm planning to sell. We use it as support here, support resistance. Okay. Okay. Let's switch between the 4 hour and the 1 hour. As you can see, this is the downside movement. This is my last perfect structure point. I'm waiting for a reaction, and as you can see, price got to this level many times. Now let's be logic. This happened on a Friday, so I can understand that the price didn't have the impulse to go down on a Friday. But as you can see, this is already a big doubt for me towards Monday because if price didn't reject this point on all these times, then price could have just switched bullish here and start going to the upside. So I want to be, so the only way for me to then get this doubt out of my way is for price to be under these zones, under this structure. It just made sense. So I'm just waiting for price to be under that point. And as you can see, same way, support and resistance area on the 1 hour. Maybe this one is not as clear, but if you go to the left, you can see that we have been using this zone as well in the past. Just look at this here. Well, actually, I'm gonna be using the same zone. And as you can see, resistance. Well, I think this one is a little bit more. Okay. So you can see resistance, support many times, support and resistance. And it's on the same area as this. Look, even more clear. So that was a value support and resistance area for me. And plus, at the end of the day, I just want a rejection of this level, and it looks like we are having it. We are going to the downside, and we are on London session. We broke under, so it's just a matter of time for us to use this as resistance. And something very funny happened here. As you can see, we start going to take profit, and just to make sure, I put my stop loss here. And as you can see, price came all the way up almost, well, I won't say almost to stop loss, but it came to break even. And because we're trading, or we have this entry are at the support and resistance level, price didn't break, just stayed under the level. And as soon as we have a few reactions here, price come all the way down again. And as you can see, it's just a matter of time for price to have this. And then of course it started going up again. Look, we could have put our take profit here. We have more rejection here, but yeah. At the end of the day, it was gonna go bullish on the weekly, and it ended up going bullish. But we had 2 weeks of rejection of this last previous structure point, and that's what I was looking for. AUD and CD, very quickly, because I already explained to you guys this, but just to give you the rest of the examples. Bearish last previous structure point. Oh, wait, this happened fast. This one actually happened a few weeks ago. This is March 31st, April 1st. Let's go to the 1 hour. Okay, I was on the daily, that's why. As you can see, shift of structure on the zone. We're gonna wait. Okay, this was my first entry here that I could have entered, but as again, I'm waiting for the creation of more structure so I can have a support and resistance zone very clear. But that could have been perfectly a my first position, and as you can see, I used the same wick as my stop loss, so this could have been a perfect entry. But this is about being patient and following the plan. So here with more structure, I can see that I have a support and resistance zone. Is, as you can see, okay, it's 10 at night, and as you can see, price had more reaction from here, reaction of the last previous structure point, and we just go straight to take profit. More examples, Euro CAD. This one, pretty one, more of the same. I like a main support and resistance zone. We break under. We have another support and resistance zone used on the past. As soon as I can confirm that we're gonna be rejecting the zone at the second reaction, I just go ahead and put my entry. And as you can see, it's 1 a.m. 1 a.m. here. Yeah. So that's already pre-London for me. So it's just a matter of time for the volume to come, and then boom, we hit our take profit. Now AUD and CD already explained. Okay, USD JPY. This was actually a loss. Oh, let me not give you guys the spoiler, but I love this trade. This is a trade that I'm gonna take every time I have this setup. But very clear, just to give a good last example. Daily, we are bearish. Last previous closure point right here. We have this candle. I'm expecting this wick to be filled. And let's go to the 4 hour. We are bearish. We have a support and resistance zone. If we go to the 1 hour, let's hit play. But you can see that this is a very clear resistance kind of support, resistance, support, and then support, resistance. We're under, so I want to sell. Then we can. That was sad. So I should have put my take profit maybe here on this psychological number, or even here. I guess I wanted to be greedy and have my take profits on these wicks, as you can see, but I should have put my take profit like on this body, where this body closed and where this open, and the movement just started, and I didn't. But as you can see, this strategy and this logic, that like having a main support and resistance and then a minor support and resistance works, and you don't have to be too smart. But look, then we go to break even again, and we use the same level as resistance again, because it just works. And I could have entered here, like another position, maybe here, and put my take profit here. I hold the trade, and I thought it was gonna hit my take profit like around here. I guess I had it, and of course it did not. Then it wigged me out. Well, I went to stop loss, and then you can see what happened. But yeah, that was kind of sad. And I actually have one from this or the past week, I think. Look, so this is how my week started. I have a last previous structure point. Okay, now we're bearish on the 4 hour. On the daily, last previous structure point here, we are bullish. And on the weekly, we were just bullish. Okay, now let's hit play, switch to the 4 hour. I'm waiting for a reaction. We have the reaction. Well, the market open here. Now we are in our zone. We have the reaction that I was waiting for. And as soon as I see price doing that, I'm waiting for price to do that again. Now switch to the 1 hour. And as you can see, I'm bearish. I go to the 30 minute. I'm bearish with shift structure. And as you can see here, this is very clear a support and resistance zone from here to all the way up here, all the way up here, and we have our EMA on our favor. So it's just a matter of time. I'm gonna wait here. What time is it? It's pre-London. So I take my trade after this look bearish, we shift bullish, reaction of the last previous structure point, we break bullish again. We're gonna be rejecting this area. I place my trade. We shift bearish for a second, but it was just a matter of time for the volume to come in and move the price up. And as you can see, I put my take profit here, but of course, price kept going. But I think I'm happy with this take profit. But as you can see, price stopped here before many times, many times. So it just made sense for me to put this take profit here on this previous resistance zone. But yeah, this basically strategy, this basically, well, not the strategy, but the entry that has been working for me, just finding any trade that I'm gonna take, it has to be on a right session, on like, because basically I just want the volume to come in, so it has to be at a certain time, and then just rejecting the support and resistance zone. If I want to sell, I gotta be under, and if I want to buy, I want to be on top of that area. I hope this works for you guys. I think this was a good explanation. I'm not the best, but I'm gonna be improving and I'm gonna be uploading more. So I'll see you guys on the next video.